Alright, so previously on the channel, we went over some of the most overpowered belt-to-ass Survivor Series teams in WWE history, and I promised you guys that we would be doing a video on some of the sorriest, most ass-cheeked teams in the pay-per-view's history as well. I'm talking so ass that you and four of your drunk uncles could probably put up a decent fight against these teams. Some of them were lacking major star power, and others just made absolutely zero sense and made you puke up a little. We're going to be looking at all those teams today, but before we hop into the video, I drop bi-weekly wrestling content, so make sure you subscribe. We're one of the only few wrestling channels that isn't just monotone as hell. I know you get tired of hearing those annoying ass fucking robot voices. We also keep it 100 over here. If something was ass, best believe I'm going to tell you how dog shit it was. And we do not hold back, so subscribe to the channel, like the video, and let's get into this first team. I do apologize in advance if I sound a little weird. I am sick as hell, but I'm going with Kurt Angle's side at Survivor Series 2004. And do you guys know that saying, don't bring a knife to a gunfight? Because Kurt Angle clearly fucking doesn't. So let me get this straight. You know you're going up against Eddie Guerrero, Rob Van Dam, Big Show, and John Cena. 4 Hall of Famers, and you decide to suit up with Mark Jindrak and Luther Reigns? Oh, God. Now, don't get me wrong, Carlito, you're all right, but this motherfucker, Kurt Angle, man, what were you thinking? He sold really bad, man. You knew Team Eddie was about to whoop that ass. This shit was so unfair, and I know that Luther Reigns and Mark Jindrak are 6'5", 260 pounds apiece, but these guys sucked ass. I really don't remember them ever being good. They were Kurt Angle's lackeys for a while, and yeah, they'd pick up the occasional win, but most of the time they had to cheat. They almost never won clean, which is crazy work from WWE. You're telling me these roided up NBA players had to cheat to win? You know, I kind of understand Eddie having to use a little bit of foul play because he's 5'7", 200 pounds even, but Luther Reigns and Mark Jindrak were trash. I'm sorry. You can't tell me otherwise. The mismatch in teams is diabolical, and I don't know who came up with this in creative, but they need to get smacked, I'm not gonna lie. So do you guys remember how in the beginning of the video I said that some of these teams would make you puke up a little? Well, here's an example. Team Cena from Survivor Series 2014 is straight disgusting. This is easily one of my least favorite Survivor Series teams ever. It's just so boring and dry. It's like biting into a Popeye's biscuit looking at this team. The only 2 people on this team that I like are John Cena and Ziggler. And before y'all go off on me in the comments, I do love the Big Show. He's goated. But this was around that time where he was on Raw crying every damn week, just getting bitched out by the Authority, and they made him look goofy as hell around this time, I'm not gonna lie. And then you got Eric Rowan, post-Wyatt family Eric Rowan, one of the most bland and boring baby faces ever. Like, there was legit nothing interesting about this man. What do the kids call it nowadays? Zero aura? Yeah, this motherfucker Eric Rowan had absolutely zero aura and zero bitches. But hold on, it gets worse somehow. The worst member of this team is, and I'm not gonna lie, hold on. Some of you may disagree because for some reason, Ryback was always over as hell, and I just don't get it. Maybe I'm the weird one, but Ryback never resonated with me. He was always boring, and as a kid, I thought this man was a little slow. The way he came out and slapped the fuck out of his head, or how excruciatingly painful he sounded on the mic. Not only were his mic skills ass, but every time he would speak, it sounded like he got hit with the Samoan spike before hitting the curtain.
And nearly 10 years ago here in the WWE, I got my start on WWE $1 Million Tough Enough.
It might be personal bias, but I do not like this team in the slightest. And if you somehow do, bro, you are fucking sick. Also, while I was getting pictures and clips for that sorry-ass team, I completely forgot to include Team Cena from Survivor Series 2006 in my previous Survivor Series video, and I'm so pissed because look at this team. John Cena, Sabu, Bobby Lashley, RVD, and Kane. God damn. And Big Show's team went pretty hard too. You got Umaga in there, Test and MVP, the very underrated Finley. But anyways, we're here to talk about garbage teams, so let's not give this segment too much time and let's move on with these toilet water pairings. Survivor Series 2009 treated us to this Team Morrison versus Team Miz bout, And don't get me wrong, I like a lot of these wrestlers in the match, but why is there absolutely no main eventers here? This is complete mid-card mayhem. Normally, when we have a traditional Survivor Series match, the team captains are usually, I don't know, Shawn Michaels, Randy Orton, Batista, John Cena, Triple H, not Miz and fucking Morrison. I just don't think these two guys had enough star power to captain their own teams. It would have been a lot better if we got a Team Batista versus Team Rey Mysterio match, because these two were actually feuding, and you could have had Miz and Morrison as teammates instead of team captains. And I'm not saying that these teams were horrible. I like John Morrison's team with Matt Hardy, Evan Bourne, Shelton Benjamin, and I've said it before in this video, but I do not give a flying fuck. Finlay is criminally underrated. This could have just easily been a Smackdown main event, especially in 2009. They loved running these kinds of matches. But what do y'all think of Team Miz? I have mixed feelings about it, to be honest. I don't even know if I like it or not. I mean, 2009 Dolph Ziggler is cool, I guess. Drew McIntyre was also okay around this time. Sheamus was pretty fresh. He'd actually win the WWE title like the next month after this. And Jack Swagger, well, he's Jack Swagger.
I'm a Division I All-American, a former heavyweight champion, and I have one Stone Cold Fox of a wife. Woo!
This is one of the most average teams I've ever seen. Not horrible, but not good. They did manage to win, though, but let's be honest, did anybody really care? Hell no. Before we move on to the next team, I got a little commercial break for you guys, reminding you to subscribe to the channel and like the video, because I'm not gonna lie, they take a little bit of time to make, and I notice a lot of you guys make it all the way to the end of the video, but y'all aren't liking or subscribing. So unless you want me to do your mom, like I said, I really recommend you fucking subscribe, motherfucker. Back to the video. Survivor Series 2006, Team Rated RKO was ass. I mean, not really, it was okay. But compared to that Team DX, they were cooked from the start. It's not a surprise that they got swept this bad. Team DX did not lose a single teammate in this match. They put belt to ass on these boys, and that's because Randy and Edge, Team Rated RKO, wasn't packing anything. I mean, I love Gregory Helms, I really do. But you can't bring him to this kind of fight. And then you go and grab a green-ass Johnny Nitro and an even greener Mike Knox. Man, I'm convinced Randy and Edge did not want to win this fight. What another complete mismatch. They might as well have forfeited, especially when Mike Knox got eliminated 10 seconds into the match. And Shawn Michaels even hit him with the "who was that?" How disrespectful. This is the equivalent to watching OKC versus the Wizards. Like, yeah, we can sit here and watch this shit, but we already know the outcome. Will OKC win by over 20 points? The answer is yes. Yes, they will. And even though they got swept, shout out to Creative for making this match realistic. I think they had to be aware of how cooked the matchmaking was in this match, so they probably had a long discussion and were just like, yeah, fuck it, clean sweep them and get this shit over with. But man, what were they smoking when they came up with that Team Rated RKO? More like Team Rated ass. Alright, now let's fast forward a whole 13 years later to Survivor Series 2019. This event was kind of special because we got the inclusion of NXT, and instead of a traditional SmackDown versus Raw match, we got a threesome with an NXT team to make it a triple threat. And on paper, it makes sense for the NXT team to be the weakest because they are technically the developmental brand. But no, Team SmackDown was atrocious. You had Roman Reigns as captain, who was in the prime of his babyface run.
And here comes the big dog! And here comes the big dog!
You had Braun Strowman, who by 2019 had become more of a comedy character, if we're being honest. People were not taking him as seriously as they did like 2 or 3 years before this. And then to top it off, you got King Corbin. Ew. Mustafa Ali, who's a cool wrestler, but in no world should he be one of the top 5 guys you have to represent your brand. And the worst of them all, Shorty G. Like, wow, SmackDown must have been really thin at the time if Shorty G somehow made the final cut to the Survivor Series team. And I'm not out here disrespecting Chad Gable. It would have been different if this was the workhorse Chad Gable that we know today, but this was the dark period when he was given this absolute joke of a character, and props to him for sticking it out during this time, because this is the kind of shit that makes wrestlers ask for a release. But yeah, this SmackDown team was not pretty. It was very underwhelming. and I hate how they won this match. Yes, they won this fucking match over Team Raw, who was Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, and Drew McIntyre, stacked as fuck. Hell, even Team NXT winning would have been better. They had Tommaso Ciampa, Keith Lee, Matt Riddle, Damian Priest, and Walter. That's pretty damn solid, but we all know Vince had a hard-on for Roman Reigns at the time, and I imagine that played a big factor in Smackdown winning, because it makes no logical sense for that weak-ass team to go over both of these pretty overpowered NXT and Raw teams. And for the final team, I have a bit of a deep cut. I'm 95% positive most of you will not remember this match, and for good reason. I'm sorry that I'm reminding you of this, but remember when Goldust and Stardust were feuding in 2015? Well, they had a Survivor Series match on the kickoff show, and if I'm being completely honest, both of these teams are hands down the weirdest I have ever seen. Stardust was teaming with the Ascension, Miz, and Bo Dallas. Yep. You heard that right. Tell me that ain't the most universe mode team imaginable. And Team Goldust was ass too. The Dudley Boys make it a little better, but like they're also fucking pushing 70 here. But why the hell are they teaming with Neville and Titus O'Neil? Goldust, Dudley Boys, Neville, Titus O'Neil. It's almost like they had no clue what to do, so they just went on WWE 2K, whatever the fuck, and randomized a match and said, alright, bet, that's good enough. What a strange Survivor Series match. Boy, Cody Rhodes, you have come a long way. Sadly, though, that's going to conclude the video today. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and let me know of any teams I might have missed in the comments down below. This video was pretty fun to make, and I'm not sure what I want to drop next. It's been a while since I've done a classic pay-per-view review, so I might cook up one of those. Let me know what you guys want to see. Don't forget to leave a like on the video, and if you made it this far, subscribe to the channel, because I will be dropping more consistently, and you don't want to miss out on a video. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day or night. Stay dangerous, and I'll catch y'all real soon. What the hell? Really soon. God damn. Peace.